the report. This is not the report of a subcommittee, and therefore I would have wanted to know the reason why the other members didn't sign if they were having a dissenting view. Allow me bragging rights, Mr. Chairman of the committee. You have had very good words for the County Assembly of Kakamega, and like you, I want to congratulate the chair, Kevin Mahelo, the MCA of Chakula Butali, for being a very good chair for this committee in Kakamega. He had started getting lost, Mr. Chairman. You remember my conversation with you. And I quickly called him and I told him that is not the way to go. He asked me, what are you talking about? I told him, even if you don't have the capacity or you have not reflected on the meaning of oversight of the Senate, at least go to the ruling and respect the ruling of the Supreme Court, which pronounced itself that this work must be done by the Senate. Mr. Speaker, there is something that we can learn from each other. It is not by chance that the County Assembly of Kakamega is doing this work. Mr. Chairman, I deliberately addressed the County Assembly of Kakamega and emphasized the role of oversight when I addressed the Assembly. And what's more, I created 12 breakout committee meetings in my home in Marinya, where I was reserving up to 4 to 6 hours with MCS from every constituency. I have got 12 constituencies, and during this time, I was emphasizing to them the importance of oversight vis-a-vis the risk of sycophancy. And I'm glad that they have taken it up, and it is the way to go. Going to the substantive issues raised, Mr. Speaker, I am very impressed that the committee has been thorough, and in particular, when I look at the actual issues, Mr. Speaker, I noticed that the committee was able to flag out the important issue of spending money on items that don't exist in the budget. And you raised, committee members, the issue of unbudgeted for payments, where you found that 1 million shillings had been given to the council, the forum for assemblies, the county assembly forum, and that $500,000 had been given to the clerks at the table. That you have recommended that these people be surcharged demonstrates the seriousness of this exercise. The public is not going to lose these 1.5 million shillings. The 1.5 million is going to be recovered through surcharge. Mr. Speaker, I also notice on specific issues that the committee went and focused on cash flows from operating activities. You put these county assemblies to task, and I'm happy that, Mr. Speaker, the matter was resolved. Then comes the issue of pending bills. Mr. Speaker, whereas this matter of pending bills was resolved, we need during this debate to remind county assemblies that pending bills should never exist because of the structure of the PFM Act. The PFM Act is grafted in such a manner that you can only give out a tender for a project that you already have a budget. So, if you have given out a tender to a project you have a budget, it means at the end of the project, the budget will simply be expended on paying the contractors. There should never be a pending bill. The fact that there are pending bills in these county assemblies, Mr. Speaker, means that money which was budgeted for particular projects and programs is then diverted and taken to things that were never put in the budget. We must sound this to accounting officers in the county assemblies. Secondly, it is not a question of my region. It is not a question of my community. It is not a question of my county. We must encourage accounting officers to identify contractors from those counties. Not because of denying people from contractors from outside the county an opportunity to participate, but for the important reason that if we are talking about Homa Bay, we are talking about Turkana, we are talking about projects in Kakamega. When you allow local contractors to partake of these particular tenders, Mr. Speaker, then at the end of the contract, the project is complete, it remains in Homa Bay. And if the contractor was from Homa Bay, when you pay him, the money remains in Homa Bay. The risk of allowing these millions of shillings to be given contractors from outside Homa Bay, outside Kakamega, outside Turkana, is that the money leaves the CRF account to the contractor, and that day or the following day, it leaves the county of Homa Bay, county of Turkana, county of Kakamega, and migrates to go to where the contractor was coming from. So it does not circulate in the economy of the local county, and therefore there's capital flight. Look, if you pay this man who has built a market in Haega, and the man comes from Kakamega, this guy makes a profit of 30 million shillings. Mr. Speaker, this guy, even if he ends up building a house for himself in his home, the local contractors of that home will be from that home, and the money will circulate in that place. Those contractors will pay school fees for their children. That money will be in that county. We must discourage, because there are contracts going on in all the 47 counties. Mr. Speaker, the committee has spoken to the issue of incomplete fixed asset register. I allowed you, and I'm glad that you have remained hawk-eyed. You flagged it out, although it was resolved. And
would you want to be informed by Senator Kajwang?
Yes, I would like him to inform me, especially in view of the accolades that I gave him at the beginning of my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to inform the Senator on that point, and actually the House, that Narok County Assembly has managed to secure a title deed for the land on which the Assembly sits. And the rest of the county assemblies are still struggling with it. And that's part of the asset management. And that's why it's going to be a query in all the county assemblies. And I want to encourage each individual senator to help the county assembly to acquire a title deed to the land on which the assemblies sit, because they are not supposed to be squatters on county executive land. In some counties, you find that they're squatters on national government land, and I encourage assemblies to look at what Narok did. They are landlords, they have the title deed in the name of County Assembly of Narok, and I know Senator Bass is still dealing with the issue of transfer of assets and liabilities. So I just wanted to inform the governor from the context of assets that even Kakamega County Assembly needs to have its title deed.
Senator Kajwang, are you informing the governor or the Senate of Kakamega?
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. Governor shall be 2027. For now, Senator.
Thank you. Speaker, be so informed. He has informed you after informing me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having congratulated the committee for flagging out the issue and resolving the issue of fixed assets, there's something I want to say about fixed assets. Chair, try and put further pressure to the leadership of our county assemblies. We want to see the fixed asset called the debate chamber in all our 47 counties. If you go to Kilifi, for example, if you go to Mandera County, for example, and quite a number of other counties, they have put up modern debate chambers, a good fixed asset. But there is no justification. Why, despite having these billions of shillings, county assemblies in certain counties have not constructed chambers? Mr. Speaker, it's very annoying that in the county assembly of Kakamega, there is no fixed asset called the debate chamber. If you were to visit the chair, you would be shocked. The building where they are debating from is the same building that was constructed in 1930s by the colonials when they were practicing governance in Kakamega. It's a ramshackle, it's a useless thing. We must put pressure under the county government of Kakamega to ensure that they construct a modern chamber. Mr. Speaker, there are other matters that were also flagged out by the committee, including budget control and performance, and I'm glad, Mr. Speaker, that these issues have been resolved. Having spoken to these issues, I want to conclude by speaking to only two other issues. The office of the Auditor General. We should never fail to congratulate them, because without them, we cannot be where we are. They are our main resource team that gives us the quality reports that we use to put these governors and speakers and clerks to account. And there should be no excuses, because today the office of the Auditor General is properly resourced. They have even put up regional hubs, and we expect them to work. If their problem is because of devolution, they have a challenge of staff, they must come to us as Parliament so that we give them more money, because without these audit reports, governance can never succeed. Finally, but not least, the EACC. EACC time has now come. The Public Accounts Committee has been sending you reports, asking you to take actions, and we have seen nothing. EACC, you cannot start pretending that you want to supervise how we do legislation here. Even telling and misleading the country that we were involved in a piece of legislation here that watered down the oversight role or watered down your work. A lie. Total lies. We expect the EACC to work. And EACC, if you don't work, if you choose to engage in politics the way I saw you running after the distinguished Senator of Marsabit, if you have problems with the Senator of Marsabit, don't call the media. That is a channel that you use as EACC. EACC does not conduct its business through the media. It should have been the media reporting that you have been found either at the office of the Senator of Marsabit or at his home. You have found he has stolen money and you are dealing with him. But for you to call a press conference and start catwalking, no. EACC, that was not the intentions of Chapter 15 commissions in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. It is this careless approach by heads of certain institutions to conduct himself. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please, 1 minute. Yes, one minute to conclude. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With a lot of meaning, it is also this poor conduct by heads of institutions that cause confusions amongst the youth until the youth think they should come and storm this parliament. If anybody had properly guided our youth, Mr. Speaker, the youth, if they had chosen to storm this parliament, they would not have come to the Senate. They would have gone to the National Assembly. The finance bill does not go through the Senate. The finance bill that almost cost us lose this house goes to the National Assembly. So they should have gone to the National Assembly. In fact, I want them to put pressure under the National Assembly. If the Gen Z should come back again, Gen Z, please go to the National Assembly. Don't come to this Senate. In fact, thanks to this Senate, Mr. Speaker, we have been able to get a compromise position that...
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mugeni, Eric.
Yes, Mr.